everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Christina and today is a Foundation Frenzy Friday. A Friday Frenzy Foundation. We're gonna work on the name, but it's basically my Foundation Frenzy series. Now before, when I've tried doing this, I've tried uploading a week full of foundation reviews. It's just not feasible. I was way too ambitious, so instead I'm going to be uploading these on Fridays. So basically what these are foundation reviews. I wear these foundations for a full week. Now the week kind of varies between how much I want to wear makeup. Typically in a week I wear my foundation 5 times a week. But for this foundation in particular, I wore it 5 days in a row, testing it out different ways, application techniques, primers, all of this stuff. I changed variables up. And you guys already know from the title, but today's foundation is going to be the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. So I've been really excited to try this out. I've heard really good things about it, and I really just wanted to, put this through the ringer and use this as my first, foundation frenzy video. Now, before I jump into telling you the specs of the foundation, the price of the foundation, what shade I got, and all of that, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I do upload every single day, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard. So if you're interested in seeing more from me, if you like foundation reviews, if you like shop my stashes, if you like project panning, I do all of that stuff. So if all of that interests you, definitely hit that subscribe button. And now, without further ado, let's just start talking about this foundation. So like I said, this foundation is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. This is supposed to be a luminous makeup with a nude skin feel. I got mine in the shade Porcelain L1. It is the lightest shade that I could find on both Ulta and on Flower Beauty's website. If there happens to be a lighter one, let me know. Now, I will say the shade range isn't the best in my opinion. I definitely think it could be worked on. To be honest, this isn't even that light of a shade. You guys will see it in the days throughout the week, but I did have a little bit of an issue with it because undertone-wise, it's not correct and it's just a little dark. I'm wearing it right now mixed with another foundation, so I think I can get it to work. I'm gonna jump over into swatches now so we can compare this shade to other shades in my collection, and then I will jump right back into telling you more about this guy. So here are all the swatches. Starting here, this is the Flower Beauty one. Next to that one is the Maybelline Superstay in 110 Porcelain. Next to that is the L'Oreal Pro Glow in 201 Classic Ivory. The fourth one is Clinique 0.5 Breeze. Next to that is the Physicians Formula LC1, and then the last one is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish in Porcelain. So as I was doing my wear test, I thought that the Flower Beauty one was really yellow. I see now, comparing it to the other ones, it's definitely more of like a salmon color. It's like an in-between yellow and pink, so it's definitely more salmon, but I think it still leans more orange. So as you can see, the undertone isn't quite right. I feel like the two that look the best on my skin are the Clinique and the Physicians Formula. I think those are the best match for my undertone. So I purchased mine from Ulta. I got it for like $13.99 or $14 from Ulta's website, which I don't think is a bad price. It is a little higher than drugstore prices sometimes are, but for nowadays, I feel like drugstore prices are in the median range between $10 to $14 is pretty normal. You do get a full fluid ounce in this product. I think as far as packaging, I think it's really beautiful. It's very Flower Beauty. It looks like all of their packaging. It's a nice glass bottle. It has a pull-off lid, which is white and like a almost rose gold. It's not quite a gold. It's not quite a rose gold. It's cool, like gold color with flower written on it. And it does come with a pump. And then according to Flower Beauty's website, this foundation is supposed to be a breakthrough foundation that achieves the impossible. It's supposed to provide you with medium to buildable coverage. It's also supposed to give your skin a flattering, soft luminosity. It's supposed to be weightless and have a nude skin feel, so I guess it's supposed to feel like you're not wearing makeup. It's also supposed to cover imperfections, even your skin tone, do the things that foundations are meant to do. And it also comes with a SPF of 18 in it. It's supposed to match seamlessly and wear endlessly. So it's supposed to be a good match for your skin, and it's supposed to wear for a really long time. And like I said, the shade range isn't the best. It has 12 shades available in total, which again, not the greatest. So that is basically all of the specs on this foundation. If you are interested in seeing how my first impression went of this and how an entire week of wearing this went, definitely make sure to keep on watching. Now let's just hop on over to day number 1. So typically with first impressions, I don't prime my entire face. I do have on a moisturizer right now, and I'm only going to prime this side. And I think I'm going to use a pore filling primer because I'm trying to pan one, and that would be what I would normally use. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'll be going in with the Revlon Pore Filling Primer. So now I have the primer on this side, no primer on this side. So I'm gonna go in with a brush and a sponge today. I think I'm gonna do the brush on the prime side and then a sponge on the non-prime side, because why not? No method to this madness. So here's the foundation. I love the way this bottle looks. I'm gonna shake it up. I'm really hoping this shade matches right because I haven't swatched anything yet. So we'll see. This is like my honest to goodness first impression. Oh, this is a thicker foundation than I was expecting. It looks quite yellow, so I'm a little worried. I'm gonna go ahead and dot it on my face, and then I'll blend it with the brush first. The shade match isn't the greatest. It's just a little yellow. I have a relatively cool to neutral undertone. It doesn't seem to really have a scent. It has a little bit of a foundation-y smell to it, but nothing like too offensive. I'm gonna be going in with my IT Cosmetics brush. It's blending with the brush really well. I love this brush too. I feel like this brush always makes my foundations look good, and it's just so like quick and effortless. This doesn't feel like it's tugging on my skin at all. It's just gliding into. It does look like it's sitting on top of some spots a little weird. It could be I just have dryness there. I haven't exfoliated in a couple days. From right here, like where my mirror is, I can't really see, but when I bring the mirror in closer, I can definitely see some texture. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's just a little bit of texture where it's kind of just sitting on top of my skin. So that's the brush side completely done. I'm gonna go ahead and dot the rest on the other side of my face, and we'll apply it with the sponge using my EcoTools sponge. Oh yeah, definitely with the sponge, it's so much more sheer coverage, but it's going into my skin better. And it almost looks more luminous on that side as well. Yeah, I feel like the sponge side looks a lot more luminous, but it's definitely so much more sheer than this side. I'm gonna go over the brush side with the sponge. I feel like this is a foundation that I would want to use with a sponge, even though it is more sheer coverage. I'm gonna go and see if I can layer it up right here with the sponge to get a little bit more. But as far as the finish looks better with the sponge. Here's the side of the sponge. As you can see, it is a lot more sheer, but it doesn't have that weird texture on the skin, versus this side still has that weird texture even though I went over it with the sponge. So I feel like this is definitely a foundation I would apply with a sponge, at least on my skin, just because I do have a little bit more dryness. I think my forehead, it's the most noticeable because there's a lot of dryness right here, but it doesn't look as bad on the side with the sponge. Also interesting because the side with the sponge only has a moisturizer on it, so maybe this is another foundation that doesn't really need primer. So I'm gonna take a tiny little bit more. I'm gonna see if I can build it up on this side because I have a little bit more like acne scarring right here on my cheek. So I want to see if I can build it up. So to me, it looks like it can be built up. I think it built up nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and check in with you guys. Right now it is about 9:50. I don't think you guys can see that. It's 9:50 in the morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, come and check in with you. Okay, so now it is 10:20. I have all of my makeup on, obviously. And I have to say, I think on camera right now and like in the bathroom mirror, it looks really good. The only time that I kind of question it is in natural daylight. I feel like the color's a little off. So I feel like it's a little noticeable like on my skin. So I think it is a little noticeable on my skin. It's definitely still emphasizing texture, and I don't know, it just, in natural daylight, I feel like it's really noticeable that I'm wearing foundation, which you guys know isn't my aesthetic. I like for things to look just like my skin. So I'm a little bummed right now. I'll come in closer. I'm gonna move over to the window so you can see my skin a little bit better, but I just feel like it's so noticeable. I think for the most part, everything looks good on top of it, and it's like a nice finish. I'm worried that it just looks too textured, so I'm hoping tomorrow I can try it with a different primer and see if that helps, and I'll apply it only with a sponge because I think the sponge side definitely looks a lot better, but we'll see. I may also try mixing it with a slightly lighter foundation just to see if I can get the tone a little bit more correct. It's just, it's so warm toned on my skin, so it is throwing me off a little bit today. But this will be the first check-in. Like I said, it's 10:20, so it's only been on my skin for about 30 minutes now. So hopefully throughout the day it wears really nicely, because if it wears really nicely, I feel like it can redeem itself a little bit if it lasts a really long time. So now that I'm like really uncomfortably close, I think you guys can see it a little better. But like, I feel like it looks textured all in this area. around my nose. It like doesn't look too bad. Like it's not like crazy. Like I've had foundations look a lot worse than this. I just feel like it's a little noticeable on my face. And I think tone-wise, you can see it's a little tiny bit off, but not too bad. My forehead still looks kind of dry up in this area, and I did try spraying the Mario Badescu spray on to get it to mesh a little bit better. I think the cheeks look okay. But I will see you guys in a few hours. I'm gonna go about my business. I have a couple more videos to film, and I will see you guys later. Alright, so it's about 2:50 now, so it's been a couple hours. Where's my phone? Hang on. So it is 2:45 now, so this foundation's been on for a few hours at this point, and I really need to get this check-in in before the sun sets because it's gonna get real dark. So I think right now I'm looking okay, but I think you can see right in this area, we're looking a little shiny. But I think overall that's helped with the textural thing that was going on with this. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. So I think now it's looking a lot smoother on my forehead, but it is looking shiny. At this point, I do kind of want to powder my face. But I think overall it's still looking good without the powder, just a little shinier than I would want it to, especially like around my nose. You can see a lot of oil building up right there, but you can still see my highlight, you can still see my blush. You can't really see my contour anymore, which is probably because I didn't put that much on. My eyebrows still look good, my eye makeup still looks good. I think overall everything looks good. I've wiped my lipstick off, but so for now, this is what we're looking at after a few hours of wear. I'll try and check in with you guys before the sunset. So today is day number 2, wearing the Flower Light Illusion foundation. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it with a primer all over today. I didn't do a check-in last night because the sun went down not long after I did that other check-in. And honestly, it looked about the same. It was just really shiny. I didn't end up powdering, but it really didn't break down any after about 8 hours. So I think most people wear their foundation from 8 to 12 hours. I'll try and wear it a little longer today, maybe. It's a little later. It's 10 o'clock in the morning right now. I'm going to go ahead and apply my primer. Now, I feel like because yesterday I used the Revlon Photo Ready primer, it didn't look good on that side, so I'm not going to use that one today. Instead, I'm going to use a more moisturizing primer and see if this helps. So I'm going to be putting on the Coconut Skin Smooth Priming Moisturizer, and I will be applying it with my sponge today and not a brush. Looks so much better today. It is a lot more sheer with the sponge, like I said yesterday, but overall the texture just looks better on my skin. So as you can see, there's really no dryness on my forehead now. It just looks pretty smooth. My cheeks don't really have any dryness. I think this looks really good. I do think tomorrow I'm going to try mixing it in with either a lightening mixer or another foundation to see how it wears because the color is off. But other than that, I think it looks really good on my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and I will check in with you guys later on today. Alright, so I'm thinking that's the way to go with this foundation. It is currently 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My phone is charging over there, but it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So this has been on for a few hours, and as you can see today, it doesn't look quite as oily even. So I'm guessing my primer was messing with it and maybe applying it with a brush. I don't know, but it's looking really good today. I like this foundation. I just wish the color was a little bit better. But other than that, I think overall this looks really nice on my skin. Like my skin looks really smooth right now. I have a light on, which is why the light's kind of warm, but it's really rainy here again today. For the most part, you can see it's sitting on my skin pretty nice. It is getting a little funny in my nose corners, but that happens with a lot of my foundations, so that doesn't really concern me. That's just, I can just take a sponge over that and fix it. I think this looks really nice. Like I think my skin looks really smooth. It doesn't look textured and dried today, so definitely applying it with a sponge and with just a moisturizing primer I think is all you need for this. I'm pleased with this. If it doesn't get too dark later, I'll try and do a check-in, but otherwise I'll just see you guys tomorrow for the third day of work. Okay, so day 3 wearing the Flower Beauty foundation. So it worked out really, really well yesterday. It looked beautiful, flawless. So, you know, Just to change things up, I know that using it with a sponge and a moisturizing primer works really well, but I think today I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I'm still going to apply it with the same sponge, but instead I'm going to use the Smashbox primer water to see how this works. I feel like this should work the same way as a moisturizing primer, so we're going to use that. I'm also going to mix it today finally because the shade is just a little off. It's a little too yellow, so I'm going to mix it with my L'Oreal Pro Glow. This is one of my favorite mixing foundations ever. It is a little lighter and I think it will give like a different sort of finish. They're both satiny, so I don't think it should change it too much, but this is lighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face with the primer water, let it sink in, and then we'll put on the foundation for day 3. Alright, so the primer water is all sank in, so I'm gonna go ahead and take these two. I'm gonna mix them on the back of my hand. I'm still gonna try and have more of the Flower Beauty than the L'Oreal one. I just need to lighten it just a little bit. It looks beautiful on my skin right now. Just goes to show, sometimes first impressions aren't right because that first primer that I tried it with, it did not look good with it. I have a little bit more on the back of my hand, so I'm just going to pick it up on my sponge and blend it down my neck a little bit because the color is still a little off, but I feel like it looks a lot better today with the L'Oreal Pro Glow. So I think this combination has worked so far. We'll see how it wears throughout the day. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and then I'll check in with you guys. It's a little later today as well. It's 10:36. So it is 2:46 on day 3 of wearing this foundation, and today was the day I mixed it, and as you can see, I think it looks really good. I am getting a little shiny again around my nose, but I haven't powdered yet. So I think for right now, it's been on what, 4 or 5 hours? It's looking really good. I'm like really enjoying this mixture. I think it helped the color. I think it just looks really flawless on the skin. I don't think it's emphasizing my dryness anywhere, and overall I'm really pleased with how this looks right now. So I will see all of you guys tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow, but I'm gonna try something different again. So far this foundation is holding up really, really well. Okay, so today is day number 4 wearing the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation, and I think I'm gonna mix it again. I think it looked really, really good yesterday, so I definitely wanna mix it one more time. I think I'm going to do the same mix, but I do want to use a different primer. I think today I'm going to use a luminizing primer. This is the Reveal Algenist Drops. I'm going to see how this looks. I mean, this foundation is already luminous, but I guess I want to take it to that next level. I feel like this sponge absorbs a lot more than the EcoTools sponge, so I feel like I need a little bit more on like this area. Oh. So today I think the mix still looks good, but definitely using the Algenist Drops is a lot different than using the primer water. I love that Smashbox primer water. I was totally skeptical of it being like a good primer, but it really is. On my forehead, the Algenist Drops didn't help at all with like that texture I have right at the top of my forehead. But I think everywhere else it looks okay. It definitely looks a lot more luminous today, which makes sense from the drops. But I don't think it looks like too crazy. So I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and I will check in with you guys later on in the day. It's 10:13, but I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup now and I will check in with you guys around like 2 o'clock again and see how it's holding up. So it is 3 o'clock now and I think everything still looks good. My eyes are a little watery, so my eye makeup's not looking the best, but I think my skin is looking really nice again. So basically any kind of moisturizing sort of primer I think will work for this, because that Algenist one is a little moisturized. It's not as okay. For the most part, all of the primers are working with it except for the pore like filling one, I guess, because that one's a little drier in consistency. I am looking a little shinier than I feel like I was, like all over shinier than I was yesterday and the days before, but I think overall I still look pretty good. So I think that's an okay mix. It's not my favorite mix to do, like with the Algenist drops, but comparatively it's better than the Revlon primer was, so I'm okay with this still. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually the last day. I was going to do 7 days wear, but I think 5 is enough, and I don't like wearing makeup every day during the week, so I'm going to stick to 5 days. I think that's still a good enough test. I mean, that's a full like weekday wear test, so I feel good about it. As of right now, spoiler alert, I like this foundation. I think it's a really good one from the drugstore, so I will see you guys tomorrow for the last day of wear. Alright, today is day 5. Had a shower, finally. I was trying not to wash my hair, but it was time. So today is the last day in a row that I'm gonna be wearing this, not the last day ever, because spoiler alert, I like this foundation a lot. So as of day 5, it has not broken me out. It's been wearing really well. Honestly, my only complaint about this is that it's a little bit too yellow toned for my skin tone. I do have, I believe, the lightest shade. It's the lightest shade on Ulta. That's my only complaint about this foundation this whole time. So I am going to wear it how I want to wear it today, which I feel like it looked the best with the Smashbox Primer Water and mixed with the L'Oreal Pro Glow. I think that was the way it looked the absolute best, so that's how I'm going to wear it today. I am going to go ahead, I am going to put a little bit of these luminizing drops too, just on my forehead, because that's where I've been really dull lately, and on my chin, but I'm going to leave my cheeks alone. So that is how we're going to do my foundation today. I am going to apply it with my damp L'Oreal sponge again, because I just feel like it looks the best with the sponge, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so my foundation is on. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup. It's currently 11 o'clock. It's 11:07. I don't know if you guys can see that. So it's 11:07. It's a lot later. Just keeps getting later and later every day, doesn't it? But I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and I will check in with you guys probably around 2 o'clock again to see how it's looking. But as you can see from the close-ups, it looks so good on the skin. I really feel like a moisturizing primer of any sort really does well. If you have the Smashbox Priming Water, I think that works so incredibly well with this. And if you have the Pro Glow, I was actually surprised this was a good mix because these are both pretty luminous, but it works really well if you have dry skin. Overall, really enjoying this. I'll do my final check-in at 2 o'clock today, and then that will wrap up the video. I'm super pumped about this. I think this went really, really well. The first day was a little hit or miss because that Revlon primer definitely doesn't work with this because it's too drying. Everything else has worked really well, and I'm excited to continue using this. So I will see you guys at 2 o'clock. I don't think I've ever worn my glasses on camera before. So it is late. It is 4:30. The sun is setting, and I realized I forgot to do my earlier check-in for the last day of wearing the Flower Beauty foundation. So as you can see, I had to put my glasses on. My eye has been watering and my glasses were really fogged up. As you can see, I feel like the foundation looks so good. So I mean, technically it's only been on a few hours. It's only been on like, what, 5 hours? I can't do math right now. Put it on at 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 hours. So not too much wear, but I think overall it's looking good. Now, I haven't had my glasses on for very long, but it does seem, I mean, honestly, I don't think I can find too many foundations that don't rub off under my nose pads on my glasses. So for me, that's not really a viable test. And if I'm wearing my glasses, it's not like they're coming off. So I mean, I think it looks fine. It's not wearing off on my cheeks or anything. And the nose pad thing doesn't really bother me, but I think overall it looks really, really nice. Just nice and smooth. I could really see myself wearing this foundation a lot. Everything just looks good today, and I'm really happy. This is basically the end of the video. I definitely give this foundation like a huge thumbs up. I'm excited about this. I think this is so good. If I have to do a rate scale, like a 1 to 10 rate scale, I would give this like 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I'm probably gonna give this about, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 to a 9, only because the shade range for my undertone isn't quite there. I do wish it was a little less yellow and a little bit more neutral. But other than that, I think for dry skin, this foundation has been so good. It's not too dewy in my opinion. It looks good on my dry patches if I use the right primer with it or I prepare my skin the right way. And overall, it wears really well throughout the day. It doesn't really fade easily. It adheres to the skin really well. And I think overall it just gives your skin a nice like smoothness, and I really like it. And I feel like I'm relatively picky about my base products because I try so many, so this one's up there. Alright guys, so that was my entire week-long video of me wearing the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. I have to say I did really enjoy wearing this all week. Again, I'm wearing it today, and today isn't even part of the like week-long filming process. I just wanted to wear it. So overall, my thoughts are up there. I think this is a really good drugstore foundation. For dry skin especially. I feel like if you have oily skin, this will probably break down on you a little bit faster. I don't think it would look the best once your oils start coming through, but if you have dry skin, this is a dry skin girl's dream, because we all want to look luminous and glowy because we are tired of our dry skin. I do wish the shade range was better, like I said at the beginning of the video, but can't win them all, I guess. So hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. In the comments down below, leave me a foundation that you would like me to try for a week. I am always open to new ones. Just remember, I am a cruelty-free channel, so I'm only going to be testing cruelty-free foundations, so definitely leave those suggestions down in the comments. And hopefully you hit that subscribe button, and that means I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye!